Oh, so do I talk on this? Now, first question I want to ask, am I cutting off the heart feed? Because last year in Cleveland, I cut off the Guns N' Roses feed, and it was just bananas because everybody that was checking around the world for the performance was pissed off. I don't want to do that to Heart this year like I did last year to Guns N' Roses. Not that I take any threat lightly anyway. So we're not cutting any feed. Are y'all paying attention to Heart right now? All right, well, just tell Heart when they come down here. I love them. They were part of my speech. I didn't get a chance to name them because I had to move. I moved mine purposely so. After Flavor ran for the president of the world. He was getting votes from France and Japan and Rwanda and everywhere all at the same time. I said, dude. And then a lot of times people were like, well, you know, what's up, man? Why would you let him just run crazy like that? Well, this is his night, you know? And any award that comes to Public Enemy, it's a sum of many parts, so I try to defer that to all the members. So, you know, I mean, reality TV has made Flavor not always look his best, so why not relish in what is considered his day job? So I have a good sense of rolling with the wagon until the wheels fall off. And then I said, like, really, it's no different. There's been longer rock and roll inductee speeches by sometimes drunk and sometimes high musicians, artists, specimens. So, you know, we had a drummer that was, people were like, oh man, he was really drunk. I'm like, there's been other drunk drummers, I believe. So, rock and roll, dude. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. And say where you're from. I like to know where you're from and how far did you come to Los Angeles? You from where? Are you from Studio City? Born and raised there? That's what you're supposed to say. You're from Detroit, not Studio City. Yes, where did you come from? I came here from Roosevelt, Long Island. Okay, Detroit. What part of Detroit? Oh, Troy, New York. Oh, Troy, Michigan, yes. My bad, yeah, I know where it is. All right, yes, ma'am.
First of all, is Flav going to really retire the Fox?
He's had the same time since 1986. You know, his job is to make you go, what the fuck? That's his job. It's just that I was looking at 10,000 folks, a large percentage of them, well-to-do white folk, looking astonished like, what the fuck? Especially after we were so eloquent in the presentation by Spike Lee, and they had some glitch going on, some technical difficulties, and people was like, well, it just happened with the black guys. No, I'm not using that as a, because they didn't have too many operations that set up the band and the turntables, and not just one turntable, but two turntables, so you expect the craziest. But Spike spoke, then Mr. Belafonte really put it down, and I don't think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has ever had a period where they had to go through two African-American octogenarians with eloquent but to the point speeches, one in acceptance and one in presentation. So I had to look at that audience, and after those two, then it was Flavor. So after about an hour and 25 minutes of that, I had to just think about the producers of HBO, the producers of the show saying, you know, just kind of like, what the fuck? We've never had anything like this before. So I think what I was able to do in my 2 minutes and 50 seconds was probably bring it all home. It's like, you might think this is a little odd, but really this is where it comes from. You know, the blues with somebody, you know, black in the early days strumming a chord against a house or a shack because they could not express themselves verbally to a slave master or to a sharecropping owner. So they expressed themselves with musical notes that was look out and love and respect music. So the whole idea was say, okay, you might think this is a little bit bizarre, but think about how and where this all evolved from anyway, and it'll help you understand and sit in your seat and just take it and then move on to where we get into Heart and Rush and things that you think are so familiar that rock and roll starts with them, with you. And I wanted to just make sure that we paid attention to the true timeline of what this thing was all about. So, long-winded answer, but there it is. Yes, man. Hey, how are you? Long time.
I'm from Raleigh.
I know you are. I was just in Raleigh last week.
Beautiful now this time.
Flew to Raleigh, got on 365, 364. Going. I had to speak at East Carolina Youth. So,
Oh, do you see you?
you see you.